Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership in Sight. We are all about talking about broken rung and career advancement strategies for women leaders. Some of you may be saying, what the heck is broken rung? Do not worry. We will get into it today. So definitely welcome. Come on in. So you've already heard today's session is really talking about broken rung, and how this came about is that I was reading this article from CBS Money Watch, and it was talking about it's not about the glass ceiling holding women back at work. A new analysis finds in the workplace is that one of the shortfalls comes almost in the first part of our career. It's that ascension to supervision. Not so much. A lot of us are in the mindset that it's more about, oh, I can't really get to the senior level position or the executive level position. The study is showing it's from worker to supervisor, and that's one of the glaring issues that's coming up. So today it's all about understanding and overcoming the broken rung of our career ladders. This session aims to shed a light on the barriers that disproportionately hinder the advancement of women in the workplace, period. We're going to dissect the intricate layers of this issue. Now, the week before last, it was all about fake it till you make it. Absolutely not. I want you to lead like the boss you were designed to be. And so if you missed that, please make sure that you go back and you check out that video. You can check that out on YouTube. And again, today, our focus is all about understanding the broken rung. Our 3 points that we're going to cover for today: organizational culture, unconscious bias, and systematic inequities. I always like to do a roll call. Definitely let me know whether you're catching this live, whether you're catching the replay. We want to know who is here. So always just drop us your name. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And again, if you're catching the replay, we ask the same of you. Let us know if this is resonating with you. I help career women level up to executive level positions. And I need to make sure that I am giving you what you have need of. So definitely let us know, is this resonating with you? I'm going to jump on in. The latest research on women's advancement in the workplace, including reports from Lean In and McKinsey, Women in the Workplace, highlights a significant issue known as the broken rung. This data shows that for every 100 men promoted from an entry level position to a manager, only, and hear me, for every 100 men, only 87 women and even fewer women of color achieve the same advancement. And this bottleneck happens at such a crucial transition from an individual contributor to a manager, individual contributor to a supervisor. And it contributes to the under and it contributes to the underrepresentation of women in leadership roles. Women also experience more microaggressions than men, especially women of color and women that are disabled, and they receive less marginal assistance or sponsorship. So, this isn't just about prospects for advancement. It's such a larger issue. It's about gender inequality in the workplace. Additional research debunks another, like no, numerous stereotypes, including the one that suggests women are less driven. And so that's what the studies show, that it suggests women are less driven, or that their main preference is for flexible work schedules, which really shows such a disbalance between men and women. Flexibility is a high value for both men and women, since it's becoming more and more recognized, and business it's essential to business success, as well as the happiness and productivity of the workforce. However, in spite of clear aspirations and mutual advantages of flexible work assignments, women continue to encounter more obstacles in their pursuit of career advancement. And this is, again, especially true for women leaders. It's especially true for women of color. And more than not, it's this subtle thing. It's biases that come all around. Women have so much to do and so much to be to others. And so it's presenting this false facade that women aren't go getters, that women don't want to be leaders, that women can't be dominant, or that women are less flexible. And that's just not the case. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that we discuss this. But more importantly, we always speak about the glass ceiling. And the glass ceiling is more, how do we get past, or how do we get into executive leadership roles, or we feel as though we can only move but so far, and there is something up there that's stopping us. Research is now showing that one of our issues is literally from individual contributor. Think of that as just your person in the workforce, and then being able to hit that first line supervisory level. That's where one of our issues is falling. And so that's definitely one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about this today. So let's go ahead and move to our first point, which is organizational culture. The broken rung refers to the first step in leadership that women are often unable to take due to lack of opportunity. I think it's probably due to a lot of things. It's a metaphor for the promotion gap that exists primarily at the entry level to supervisor transition. And I am sure that some of you actually may be in that now, where you're saying, how long is it going to take? When can I get my supervisory position? Some of you are saying, I'm getting passed over. I'm getting passed over. And if that is you, I am saying to you, hold out, keep applying, keep making sure that you excel in your craft. It is so important that you excel in your craft. It is so important that you are also seen as one who can collaborate. So, to that lady out there who is just like, I am not going to make it. I am telling you, hold the course, apply again, and just make sure that you continue to educate yourself, continue to surround yourself with people who can also help you. Get a coach, get a mentor, again, even a sponsor. Organizational culture plays such a crucial role in perpetrating this gap. So know that it is not just you. Rooted in the historical norms and biases that has shaped modern workplace, it persists throughout outdated practices, policies that do not favor equality, they do not favor growth or opportunities. Companies that prioritize a diverse and inclusive culture have been shown to have better performance, employee satisfaction, and retention rates. For women, this means confronting a work environment that does not actively promote their leadership potential. And so I don't know if that's you, and I need you to be able to take a step back sometimes to be able to look at the overall picture. Is your company actively promoting leadership potential, or are you in a company that this organizational culture is not for you? And we have to stop. Listen, when I say this, we have to stop beating our heads up against the wall, asking for someone to change their culture. Listen, yes, it's great. We need cultures change. But if it's you, I'm going to say there is a workplace culture that wants to accept you. There is a place for you. Perhaps it's not at the company that you are in. And so sometimes we need to move in order to move. Our second point is unconscious bias. Unconscious bias refers to implicit attitudes, stereotypes that affect our understanding. It affects our actions, our decisions in an unconscious manner, which creates this barrier for a woman to progress. These biases are often inherited from where? Societal norms. You've heard it. I'm sure you've heard plenty. I'm sure, unfortunately, you probably still see plenty, even though it's unconscious. When you start thinking about your day and what's happened, you're probably like, did that really happen? Did that really happen? These biases are often, again, inherited from societal norms, and they infiltrate the decisions, the hiring, promotions. Aren't you tired of hearing, stop hiring people who think just like you, right? I am sure you have heard that. We have seen it in the workplace. People tend to gravitate to what they are used to. Unconscious bias can result in women being overlooked for high stake projects, promotions, which are crucial for career advancement and leadership development. Unconscious bias can hinder the growth and development of female employees, leading to a lack of diversity in leadership positions. And in order to combat this, companies really truly, and I'm sure most companies or a lot of companies are moving into making sure that they are promoting things like DEIBA. They are doing the unconscious bias training, encouraging panels, hiring panels being more diverse. And even with all of that said, yes, we know training is happening. However, we still need to get to the heart, because just because you're having training doesn't mean that we are changing. And so it's important to get the training, but to embrace the training. And if we could spend a little bit more time on making sure employees embrace training, making sure management supports what's going on, we definitely will be worlds better than what we are right now. And our last thing that I wanted to talk about is going to be the systematic inequities. Systematic inequities refer to the ingrained structural and institutional practices that create unequal outcomes for different groups. And so for women, systematic inequities can manifest in wage gaps, unequal benefits, and inflexible work environments. And these inequities are deeply impacted in the fabric of organizational operations, stemming from long standing structures, laws that weren't designed with gender disparity in mind. And so systematic inequities can really dampen women's career trajectory by limiting access to necessary resources. For instance, what you're listening today, this is a resource that you don't always get to hear. And so, even know that when we're talking about growth and we're talking about leadership and we're talking about women being able to move. Some of you are in organizations that don't really even allow you to get training. There's a leadership training out there that's available. However, because you may not fit some type of or some type of modern or old world stereotype, you don't get that training. That's one of the reasons why we do this, because we believe that you should have access to this information. You should have access to this knowledge. Going back, I digress. Listen, in order to address this, companies really are going to have to do audits of their policies, of their practices, offer equal pay for equal work. Just because you're a man does not just naturally say that you should get paid more than me for doing the same job. Companies have to promote flexible work arrangements to support the diverse needs of their workforce. And by creating a more inclusive workplace, companies are going to be able to ensure that all, not just men, and this is not a man bash, and I know normally I don't go this deep, but this is not a man bashing session. Unfortunately, this is just true. This is what's still happening today. We need companies to be able to provide equity. We need companies to be able to provide equity to their employees, for their employees to have the opportunity to reach their full potential and to be able to contribute to the organizational success. And with that being said, I want to wrap up the broken rung. It's more than just a metaphor. It's more than just a saying. This is a daily reality for so many talented women out there. By dissecting the components of organizational culture, unconscious bias, systematic inequities, we're going to begin to understand what is going on to be able to get out from this barrier. And as leaders, we have the responsibility and the power to mend the broken rung. Doing this is not just about an act of fairness, but strategic moves towards this more diverse, innovative, and resilient leadership landscape that we all should be trying to create. I always like to end with a quote. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made. It shouldn't be that women are the exception. And this quote speaks to the heart of the issues discussed here today. And we need to make sure that our voices are heard, our voices are represented. Remember, when we lift the barriers for one, we elevate the full potential for all. Let us be architects of our future where every rung is intact and every ascent is possible. So, thank you for watching us today, for your commitment to leading by example, and for your dedication to excellence and growth. Join me next week. You deserve nothing but the best. It's my goal to ensure that you move to your next level. Let's take your career